Hey there, welcome to the Elevate Empire podcast. I'm your host, Megan Stoddard, your master coach and practitioner, and I'm here to help you release any limiting beliefs or negative subconscious programming that just isn't serving you, and to guide you to your next level self. Let's dive in, friend. Hey, friend. Thank you so much for showing up for yourself today. I'm so excited to talk to you about thought responsibility. Yes, that's the thing. And I'm going to tell you exactly what it means and how you can step into that responsibility without it being exhausting or overwhelming. It's actually incredibly freeing and enlightening and just such an easy way to live. It's beautiful. And I'm so excited to share it with you today. So let's just dive on in. So thought responsibility, what does it even mean, right? Okay, there's this thing called the empowerment formula. Now, empowerment has kind of become a buzzword, which often means like when something becomes really popular like that, especially a word, it tends to get glossed over a bit. So I'm going to say that again and really listen. It's the empowerment formula. Empowerment, meaning it's going to empower you to be free to do what you want to actually do, live the life you want to live. So this is really important. I need you to just really pay attention. This is important. There will be a test at the end. I'm just kidding. Okay, so the basic premise of the empowerment formula is that at all times you are either living at cause or living in effect. Okay, let me explain a little bit further. Living in effect means that you blame other people or circumstances for your current reality, for the life that you are living this very moment. I'll give a few little examples that I've heard commonly. And before I do, I just want you to know that if you have caught yourself having any thoughts similar to these, it doesn't mean anything about you. It just means that you have this thought habit, and this is the first step to rewriting those habits, okay? So just bear with me here. So example number 1, I have a family history of heart disease, so I can't have such and such food. Or this one might make you laugh. I've had babies, so I can't jump on the trampoline anymore. Where my mom's at. I know you feel me. Or I get so frustrated when my husband leaves his dirty laundry all over the bedroom floor. Or I can't buy anything that I want for myself because I'm in too much debt. Or my business just isn't bringing in very much money because I don't have very many followers. Is any of that ringing a bell for you? Do you see the common thread in those? Essentially what it's saying is that this situation is making me live this way or feel this way or think this way. So just take a second and just think about thoughts that you have often that run, in a similar vein to these ones that I've just had. Just take a second. I really want you to think. Because the thing is, we have, oh man, I should have looked up the statistic before I recorded this, but something like we have 95% of the thoughts that we have every day are the exact same thoughts that we had the day before, and the day before that, and the day before that. So I'm willing to bet that you can think of a handful of thoughts that you have that are in this same thread where it's you living in effect. Okay, and once again, it doesn't mean anything about you. It doesn't mean you're doing it wrong, or it doesn't mean anything like that. Okay, we're just bringing it into the light to notice it. So next, let's talk about living at cause. This is such a great place to be in. It's amazing. Living at cause means that you take full responsibility for your reality. Okay, I know some of you might be triggered a little bit or at least experiencing some resistance to what I just said. So I'm going to say it again, and I want you to just hear me out for a second, okay? Living at cause means you take full responsibility for your reality. All right, so you might be thinking something like, all right, Megan, so what? I'm just supposed to take responsibility for the coronavirus? How the crap is that my responsibility? Or how is it my fault that my husband leaves his dirty laundry everywhere? Am I just supposed to suddenly be okay with that? Or I didn't choose my genetics. That's just the card I was dealt. And you're telling me to take responsibility for it? All right, good. Get it all off your chest. I know. Take a nice deep breath and listen to me when I say, no, that is not how this works. Remember, this is called the empowerment formula, not the take the blame for everything that's wrong formula, okay? So if you follow me on social media, you know that I just got out of a 2-week intensive training to become a master coach and practitioner. And while I was in that training, one of my lovely colleagues shared a really, really beautiful analogy that I found super helpful in really clearly explaining this concept. So I just wanted to go ahead and share that with you here so that you can see the beauty in living in cause, okay? So imagine, just kind of click on your imagination for a second. Imagine that you're in this really beautiful forest. You're just kind of hiking through. It's chock full of just trees. Everything is so green. You can hear birds and insects, like just, crickets chirping, and it's just really lovely. It smells really fresh, and the air is clear. And you're just walking along. You see so many beautiful plants and colors and flowers and interesting animals, and you're just really enjoying this hike. And as you're hiking along, all of a sudden, up ahead on the trail, this massive tree just topples over right on the trail, blocking your path forward. So, are you supposed to take responsibility for that tree falling down? Nope. Not even a little bit. You had nothing to do with that tree falling down. It would have fallen down whether you were there or not. All you need to do now, so that tree falling down, that is akin to, looking back at some of the examples that we were talking about before, that's akin to, the coronavirus or your genetics or, your husband leaving dirty laundry all over or not having followers. Those are all the tree. Being in debt, that is the tree. Okay? Some may argue that being in debt is not the tree, but I'm going to argue that it is. Those are all the tree. So you can so this is the point, the tree has fallen down. Now, this is the point where you live at cause. You've got choices. You have choices. A lot of people would argue, no, I don't have a choice. There's a tree in my way. What else am I supposed to do? Well, I'll tell you. You can either sit down on a log and complain that it's just not fair and that the park services needs to come right now and move the tree. You can call them up and yell at them and say, this is not fair. This is not okay. I came here to hike on this trail and you let this tree fall down. So you need to get someone out here right now to move it out of my way so that I can go on the rest of my hike. Or you can choose, if you want to turn around and just call it a day. You can go back and just head back home. Or you can find a way over it or around it, or find a new trail entirely. Maybe even get curious about why the tree fell and kind of, explore and see what may have happened. Or you can go choose an entirely different activity that you want to participate in for the rest of the day now that your time has freed up. Do you see how there are so many options where some people may have thought, oh, well, there's nothing else I can do, so I guess I have to go home. I have to go home because this tree fell down. But that's not true, is it? There are so many options. So your responsibility is to actually choose your option. Get out of autopilot and decide what you're going to do. Sure, it might not be what you had planned, what you had in mind, what you would have liked to have happen, and that's fine. You can be disappointed. That's allowed. You are allowed to be disappointed or frustrated. Whatever emotions, or even angry, whatever you need to feel, that's fine. Feel it. Let yourself feel it. And then you make a decision, a conscious choice about what you're going to do moving forward. Okay, so coming out of that forest, that hiking analogy, let's just go ahead and apply it to some of those examples that I mentioned. In fact, all of them. I'll go ahead and create an example for shifting into empowerment regarding all of those examples I gave before. So the one with heart disease. Instead, to live in cause, you can say something like, I've got a family history of heart disease, and since I know this, I'm choosing now, early in my life, to eat foods that bless my body so that I can live a high quality life. The next one, this one still makes me laugh. Because having babies has weakened my pelvic floor and I don't really enjoy peeing my pants, I generally choose not to jump off the trampoline. And if it was important enough to me, I would go see a physical therapist that specializes in pelvic floor function. For now, I'm good with avoiding the trampoline. I don't feel a need to do it. I don't feel deprived. That's fine. No big deal. And then here's the next one. The dirty laundry one, right? And this is not necessarily coming from personal experience. I just need to throw that out there. My husband has a habit of leaving his dirty laundry just kind of strewn about. And, if it's really bugging me, I can take care of it. But if I don't want to take care of it, I don't have to. And I can get creative and find new ways of dealing with it. Whether that means kind of shoving it all into a corner or putting it on his side of the bed or just ignoring it. Or you know what? Use the laundry to protect yourself from the floor's lava. Perfect. The debt one, right? So I've accrued a significant amount of debt. And when there's something that I really would like to buy for myself, I get to choose whether I'd rather have that thing or whether I'd like to put that money towards paying off my debt. There's no right answer, and I get to make that decision every time. And then the last one here, my time is my own. I choose whether to spend my time building deep, genuine relationships that may authentically lead to my business growing and supporting me financially, or I may choose to spend my time relaxing, watching Netflix, or any other number of things. There is no right answer. It's just a personal decision, and that is how you take responsibility. Man, so how different did all of those statements feel than when I brought them up earlier? Felt pretty different, didn't they? And as you are living from this empowerment formula, there's no room for blame, no room for self-criticism, no room for self-shaming. All it is, it's so simple. It's just a new level of awareness and increased personal responsibility. And I know that I personally, years back before I kind of got into all of this growth work, personal growth and becoming a coach and all of that stuff, I used to hate the word responsibility. I think part of it is from my dance years back in college. The first year that I was on the touring dance company, personal responsibility was like the mantra of our director. So I might have a tiny bit of PTSD there, but you Dance Alliance peeps with Wendy Bone, you will get it. You will get it. Anyhow, I used to feel really like personal responsibility. That just sounds exhausting and daunting and overwhelming and stupid. Frankly, stupid. However, the more I have understood it and implemented it, man alive, it has changed my life. So why? Why is it so important to have this increased awareness and personal responsibility? Well, that is because when you accept responsibility for your reality, for your thoughts, for your words, that is when you open the door for change. When you're stuck living in the land of effect, living in effect, the doors to change are totally locked up, barred shut. There's no way to make your way into progress. Because there's no room for growth when you're busy blaming everyone and everything else for the life that you currently have. I mean, think about it. Whether it's you or someone in your life who you know who is always shifting the blame to someone other than themselves, do they ever make progress in that area that they're complaining about? No, absolutely not. And I know that we all know someone who's like that. And there's a good chance that we have all been that person at one point or another, whether that's now or have been in the past. We are all very familiar with this. And we know that when we are blaming, all that does is shift the attention off of your responsibility. It shifts the focus off of your mistakes and imperfections. That's all it does. It does not open up room for growth. And that's why it's so important, because then when you shift, and it's such a simple shift, I promise you it gets to be easy. When you make that shift so that you are living at cause, that beautiful land of living at cause, it instantly unlocks those doors and it frees up your entire being to be able to create the changes that you have been craving. Whether you're aware of that craving consciously or subconsciously, we all crave change because that's who we are. We are beings of progress, of growth. We are not rocks. We are living, breathing, moving beings. And we are here to make growth. I mean, we age. Age itself is opportunity for growth. Whether we like it or not, we are always growing in one way or another. And so, okay, in a nutshell, I'm just going to kind of break it down. You allow you allow a situation to simply be a situation. It's neutral. It doesn't mean anything. It's not good. It's not bad. It's not positive. It's not negative. You just let it be what it is. And then you take responsibility for what you're going to do about it moving forward. And as you take that responsibility, it creates the space for you to make a decision that will either move you further away from what you want or much closer to what you want. Because the secret is, and I'm sure you already know this, but you're never at a standstill, ever. It's just not possible for the living, breathing entity that you are. You are always, always moving either toward or away from what you want. And it is time. It's time right now. If you are listening to this podcast, if you are hearing my voice this second, let it be your sign that it is time for you to start increasing your awareness of and being conscious of those choices. All right, friend, that is all for today. Thank you so much for showing up for yourself today. And just I have a huge love for you, and I'm grateful for you for showing up. If you found this podcast helpful, I would love, love, love to hear about it. Come find me on Instagram and let me know what you thought. And feel free to share it with your friends and anyone else who you might find would benefit from it as well. So thank you again, and I'll talk to you again next week. Thank you so much for making the time for yourself to listen to today's episode. I really hope it provided you with exactly the energy that you needed today. And if you found it helpful, I would so appreciate you leaving a review. It will take you just a quick minute, and it will help others just like you to be able to find this podcast and enjoy this experience as well. You are the best. I'll talk to you soon.